What's up, guys? Oh my god. Wow. That was Rambo. Whatever. What's up, guys? How y'all been? Today is Sunday. I finished my last day of my first year of medical school on Friday. So yes, I'm officially in MS2. Assuming I pass this exam, I'll find out later this week. But today I wanted to get on here and tell y'all about a program that I was in during undergrad, and technically I'm still currently a part of, that got me here. Really, it's honestly, I like to think the only reason that I'm here. It's called JAMP, Texas JAMP, which means Joint Admissions Medical Program. It is only a program that is in Texas. But yeah, I want to tell you guys a little bit about it. Okay, so JAMP is a program created by the Texas legislature that's meant to help out students who are economically disadvantaged. That's their whole slogan, it's their deal. If you look them up, that's what they'll say. And essentially what qualifies you as economically disadvantaged for them is, do you qualify for the Pell Grant within your first 2 years of college? Now, when I say your first 2 years, I mean, if you're on a fast track, on a slow track, whatever it might be, I essentially mean any time before the end of your sophomore year, whichever time that may be. So for example, I was ahead in college. I came in with credits, and I also overloaded my credits right off the bat. So I was only a freshman for 1 semester, and then I was already a sophomore. So by the time my classmates started being a sophomore, I was finishing being a sophomore. Anyways, are you Pell Grant eligible during any time during these 2 years? I was only Pell Grant eligible for the second semester of my sophomore year. So I was cutting it very close on applying to this program. It is at a lot of different undergraduate universities here in Texas, public and private. I will post the website down below, and you can check if your school is on there. I went to Sam Houston State University. It is on there. I know a lot of big universities are also on there, UT, A&M, whatever, Baylor, stuff like that. I'm pretty sure. And it works with 8 or 9 different medical schools. They're constantly adding new schools as they're building new schools to their lists, and I'll get to why that's important in a minute. But what happens when you get accepted into this program is they give you all sorts of benefits. They give you summer internships, summer stipends. These internships are at medical schools, which is pretty cool. So you get to shadow and do workshops and meet new people who are also in the JAMP program. And that's at any of the participating medical schools. So I went to UT San Antonio Long School of Medicine for my internship. And normally you would have 2 internships. I was an alternate member. I got accepted later after my freshman year, so I didn't have the freshman summer internship because that had already passed for me. And I'll also explain what that means. So you get the summer internships, stipends. You also get scholarships during your undergrad time, and you get scholarships in medical school. And so here at Texas Tech Medical School, us JAMP members got this year $4,000 for the entire year. Now that also changes. There was rumor that they were upping it to $8,000. Some people get more. If you go to a Houston medical school, UTMB, McGovern, UTESCA, San Antonio, any of the Houston schools, they get a larger sum of money, I'm fairly certain. You get a study course, like I used Kaplan for the MCAT while you're an undergrad, so that you have this program to take and you can do it in person. I think most of the MCAT people do it in person. I did mine online. You also get guaranteed admission into one of the participating medical schools. Now you do still go through the Texas match system where you rank the schools, the school ranks you, and then you get an email saying congratulations, you have matched here, and you're guaranteed to match somewhere. You will not get rejected. You may not get your first, second, third, fourth choice. It really depends on your application and how you interviewed, and obviously all of the people interviewing that year, but yeah, so guaranteed acceptance, scholarships, internships, stipends, it's connections, networking. I mean, it's incredible. The program honestly changed my life. Each university that participates in JAMP does have what's called a JFD, which is a JAMP faculty director, and that'll essentially be one of your professors at your college who knows about the program and knows how to get you started into applying, and if you get accepted, into staying on track and keeping up with all of the things that you need to do, including your grades, registrations, all those sorts of things. So if your university does participate in JAMP, go reach out to them, shoot them an email, go see them in their office. I know now with all the COVID stuff, it's kind of crazy, and it's summertime for most colleges anyways. But yeah, absolutely reach out to your JFD and they'll be able to tell you everything that you need to know about the program through your school. So what's different for me, as I mentioned earlier, is I am an alternate member, which means that I applied during my time to make it before my sophomore year had ended, so that I would have the summer after my sophomore year to do an internship, and then the summer after my junior year to do an internship, and then obviously after I graduated I would start medical school. That's the normal path. As an alternate, I got accepted late. So they called me and said, hey, whenever you get your MCAT score back, which I took it at the same time as all of the other JAMPers did, that way, just in case I was able to get in, I was still on track. So there is a timeline you have to follow. All of that is on the website, and you can get updates and emails about those as well. So I stayed on track with that, and they called me up one day and said, hey, we might be able to get a spot open for you if your MCAT meets our requirements. There is a 502 requirement now, I believe. They just raised it. It was 501 before. And you have to maintain a certain GPA in undergrad. I should mention that. I believe it's a 3.25. You do have to maintain that. And that goes, you have to maintain a good standing in medical school. So I took my MCAT, I got my score back. I was a junior at this point, and I got a phone call and they said, hey, your score met our requirements, so pack your bags. In 5 days, we're sending you to San Antonio. I had 5 days. You have to be up to date on all your immunizations. You have to have all this paperwork done, contract signed, things gathered. I had to pack. I had to notify my job, which, again, this is abnormal. As a normal member, you would have lots of time. You know where you're going, etc., etc. So they found me a spot and sent me to San Antonio, and I was there for 5 weeks. I lived in a hotel with a roommate, and she was awesome, by the way. And yeah, you're there with all of the other JAMPers in that same hotel. You go out and do activities in this new city, or if you're from there, I guess it's kind of random. So you shadow. I did neurosurgery for kiddos, pediatric neurosurgery, and I did the ER as my shadowing dealy boppers. And yeah, so I only had one summer internship, whereas everybody else had two. I still got one scholarship for undergrad, I believe, or maybe one per semester for my senior year, essentially. And then I obviously get my scholarships here while I'm in medical school, and now I'm not treated any different, and I never was treated any different. I just never had that first internship any different than any other member. So yeah, that's essentially what JAMP is. It's a program for Pell Grant eligible students. You get scholarships, guaranteed acceptance, etc., etc. So if you're sure about medical school, then I would absolutely 1012% recommend this program. It really changed my life. It's the biggest help. It teaches you so much about medical school, things that you don't know, things you didn't know, things you really need to know that you would never ever have thought to ask. The people that you intermingle with while you're at these internships, the actual medical students you're getting to talk to, you get a lot of firsthand experiences, and a lot of people come in and speak and tell you about what it's like to be a doctor and a student and what to expect. And that is the most priceless thing. That is the best thing that this program has given to me, is the knowledge and the guidance during the application process, because the application process into medical school freaking sucks. It sucks. It's hard. It's long. It's confusing. But they essentially hold your hand and they're like, we'll get you through it. And they do. And they tweak your stuff and they help you out. It's incredible. Okay, so the reason I say if you're absolutely sure about medical school is because once you sign your contract to join the JAMP program, then part of that contract states that if you change your mind about attending medical school, if you don't want to be part of the program for whatever reason that may be, if you drop out of this program, then you do, or fail out, I should mention that. If your GPA drops after you've already signed the contract, if you have some sort of record, if you get arrested or something crazy happens and you can no longer attend medical school, then they terminate your contract. Now what happens when you terminate your contract is you are responsible for all of the funds, the scholarships, any sort of financial help that they gave you. You're responsible to pay it back in full. So, I mean, at this point, JAMP has given me easily a couple thousand. Obviously, I made $4,000 this year alone, plus everything that they did during my internships, my stipends and stuff that I got. So if I were to change my mind right now, not only would I be X amount of thousands of dollars in debt from just paying for medical school, my regular loans, but I would also have to pay back everything that JAMP gave me. So that's why I say if you're absolutely positive about attending medical school, because some people do change their minds, and that's a pretty big penny to pay back if you do, so be sure. So yeah, if y'all have any questions about JAMP, just leave it down in the comments and I'll get back to them pretty quick. I am technically on summer. I'll probably go get a job because I'm not doing any research, and JAMP doesn't have me doing anything, obviously. So yeah, let me know.